We should all be ashamed of what we have become. I'm talking, of course, about our skewed views on reality and politics. Long ago, I learned of propaganda and how it is used to persuade society to divide us along very hazy lines. The best way for the people in power to hide what they are doing is to put it right there out in the open and take a metaphoric shit on it, and nobody will touch it. I mean, of course, tainting the subject to the point nobody who speaks of it will be listened to. They may lose their credentials at best, and at worst, be killed off for knowing too much. But this was the old method. This propaganda works another way as well. Over the past 10 years, with the internet in play, things have taken a turn. As those in power see people waking up, they can no longer hide what they do. They've been exposed at every turn, and on every level. So what is the next best thing to secrecy? Well, think about it. They find no need to expose some of the biggest critics of their power. They simply sick us on each other. Why do the work themselves? Like sending kids off to war, they infiltrate the Democrats, Republicans, the Tea Party, and even the liberal media, and convince us our neighbors are guilty of being wrong for their beliefs. What I am saying is that we lose sight of what is important, that we all live here together. Do you think if the Tea Party movement knew who was really running the show, they would still be there? Hell no, at least not 90% of them. We forget that it is misinformation and disinformation that keeps us at war with one another. With us distracted by minor differences in opinion based on half-truths, they can continue to plunder the world. We are all guilty, but it is not too late to realize it, and admit to ourselves we have once again been duped. People speak from their hearts, and you better believe that the powers know this. They plant seeds of doubt among us and confuse the truths. But most of all, they keep us busy screaming at one another. This shit has to stop, and now. It pisses me off that people can be so ignorant to use words like liberal and conservative and think they mean a damn thing. The fact is, 99.9% of the world just wants to live happily and be treated as they treat others. Right wing, left wing. We just find a way to confuse the truth, and it's pathetic. And when most people learn the truth, they would rather ignore the facts and admit they were mistaken. This is a disease of ego, and it makes me sick. I try not to get riled up when I write these things, but the feelings that arise are the same feelings the powers use to make us say things that are emotionally driven rather than actually researched. Most people just want a good life, but that is no excuse for ignorance. I have heard so much bullshit about socialism, communism, racism, and more since Obama took office. I heard the same shit with Bush, all the way back down the line. Wake up, people. You're being played hard. We're all being raped of the reality of what is true, for there are far too many issues to deal with. As long as we are fighting, then nothing will change. Learn history and act accordingly. Faceless cowards can post comments and create negative websites, print flyers and articles about how bad the other side is. But anyone who thinks that those in charge are right-wing or left-wing, or even give two shits about voting, they are mistaken. These people have no God. They have no position except money. And when they have enough, they realize why they wanted all that money. Power. It's not the money. Look at the Koch brothers, multi-billionaires that tried to resegregate schools in South Carolina. All the money in the world, but all they want to do is control and run the show like the rest of them. Stop fighting your neighbors. This extends to difference in religion, race, and every other aspect. And this is not just in the U.S. Every country has power problems. We are all played, and it's not too late to admit it. We need each other now more than ever. The earth is feeling our growing discontent, and anyone with any sense can see we are all related to the planet, the universe, and one another. And when we strike out against another out of egotistical rage, we are striking against ourselves. We are one. It is our true nature.